How do non-refundable movement fees in the city of Chicago for rentals work? Hi, I'm Mark Ainley, founder, partner, GC Realty Development, also co-host of Chicago's #1 real estate investing podcast, Straight Up Chicago Investor. Check that out if you haven't yet. But I get questions a lot from people that, maybe they've gotten over the hump. They're like, I'm not going to charge security deposit. I'm going to follow what majority of other real estate investors and apartment owners do here in the city of Chicago. They charge a non-refundable movement fee. So non-refundable movement fee is a fee that you take from a applicant that's applying for your place. When they sign the lease, instead of collecting a security deposit, you'll collect this non-refundable movement fee. And that non-refundable movement fee is to cover some costs and then offset the risk of a tenant moving in and maybe damaging or leaving a couch behind when they leave, or maybe not paying a little rent on the back end. So it's supposed to reduce your risk in a similar way to security deposit is. It's just not a large of a dollar amount. Now, for a non-refundable movement fee, that's your fund. So you take that money, you can put it. You don't have to put in a security deposit account. You don't have to pay interest on it. You don't have to talk about returning it. It's exactly that. It's a non-refundable. You don't give it back. Non-refundable move-in fee. So that being said, it's became pretty popular because of all the risks that you have to take when you collect a security deposit. So people always ask me how much non-refundable movement fee should I ask for? And there's not a perfect science to this, but there is one thing that I want to make sure that you recognize is you cannot collect a non-refundable movement fee that is more than 49% of the total rent. So $2,000 rental, you can't collect more than $999. Otherwise, if it's more than 49%, it's treated as a security deposit. And then you can get in trouble for doing all the things you're not supposed to do with a security deposit with this fee that you now collected. So it'll always be that. Now, a lot of people think, all right, perfect, I'll just collect 49%. But now that doesn't always work as well either, because it ends up being more of what the market is allowing you to do. So no different than, you have a $2,000 unit, maybe you think you get $2,200, but everyone else is renting it at $1,900. You probably can't get $2,200, and you might even struggle to get $2,000 because the neighborhood, the market has set itself. And there's a similar kind of price setting when it comes to non-refundable movement fees. If someone's looking at your unit and you're charging, let's just say you have a $2,000 unit and you're charging $800 non-refundable movement fee, but the same exact unit or similar unit across the street, someone else is marketing, and they only have a $400 non-refundable movement fee. So you have to stay competitive when it comes to. So I always tell people, we kind of 25 to 35% is kind of the sweet spot. For us, I know, to make our listings more attractive, maybe in the off season, between November and March, we might reduce that a little. Just, it's tough enough to get people to rent in that time of year. So if we can make it a little more attractive and make it easier, then we'll do that as well too. So it's just something you play with. When you're looking at your place has been on the market 7 days, and maybe you don't want to drop rent, but you could drop the requirement for non-refundable movement fee to a flat $250 or something like that. One other thing about the 49% rule, you have to be careful. A lot of people, maybe you only have a $1,200 unit, and that obviously that non-refundable movement fee gets smaller and smaller. Maybe you have an $800 like efficiency or studio. Now you literally have to collect you can only collect less than call it $399 in that scenario. So be careful. Make sure you do your math right, even on the smaller units. But then also on the bigger units, if you have a $6,000 unit, it's going to be tough for you to collect a $2,999 non-refundable movement fee. Sometimes there ends up being the ceiling. So the higher your rents go up, the percentage might come down. So on a $6,000 unit, you might only collect a $1,500 non-refundable movement fee in that scenario. So that's some just kind of tips and ways that I see people doing around the Chicago market when it comes to non-refundable movement fees. If you have additional questions, reach out to me. If you don't want to deal with any of this, figuring out security deposit, non-refundable movement fees, we have tenant placement services and we have property management. And we do two things for our clients. We lower the risk by not having to deal with all the regulation that you need to know as an owner, all the changes that happen every year, the specific lease that you're supposed to have that you probably don't realize that you have to have all these different disclosures and things have to be certain places in the lease. So we definitely help our clients lower risk. And then at the same time, if you're looking to get your time back, that single unit you have probably take you 20, 25 hours in a given year between tenant communication, renewal, maybe dealing with the HOA, so forth like that. And that's on a non-turnover year. And if you're going to have a turnover coming up, you might spend 60 to 80 to maybe 120 hours if you have to go through all the repairs and leasing the place up. So two things we help: lower your risk and help you buy your time back. So, love to hear from you. Check out the podcast. I'm very easily available. We'll talk soon.